And then two other things that jump out the page to me on what you said before. You didn't say this, but I think it's obvious after saying is, one, if you're a buyer, you have to get a home inspection. You have to get a good quality home inspection so you know what you're doing. Now, the problem is that sometimes home inspections are fishing expeditions for business, and sometimes home inspections sound like, you read all the disclosures in a real estate document, you're going to pass out in fear. But you got to get it, and you have to look at it and read it, and be able to read it competently, meaning there are things that are minor that you need to know about that are deferred maintenance. There are things that you should think about at some point in time. The other things that right now aren't working right, and you need to be aware of them, so you don't buy the house with that defect in place and buy it. And so it's such a fine line between not wanting to know and knowing too much and being scared. And I think a home inspection is so underrated as importance of a good one, and their ability to communicate effectively, both in writing and be able to explain things if you have a question. Then second is review it in detail and review it with your agent so you know what you're getting, and what you shouldn't be scared about it, but you should be able to understand it because you are buying a house and it's got a lot of moving pieces in it, right?
Right, and Bill, that's a really good point. And oftentimes I have realtors that I've worked with for many years who will be in that situation, and they will wonder, because they don't want to represent, I think is wise, what will be covered or what they should ask for and all these things. So they will sometimes send me an inspection report, which, I mean, if everybody in the world did this, there would be not enough time in the day. But it's not the worst thing in the world to do, especially if you're trying to keep the deal together and the buyer has concerns. Send me the inspection report, or send me the request for repair, or send me things that you're concerned about. And I can tell you, is that something that would be covered after close of escrow? And I'm going to give you the most important example. And it's a big ticket item, and it's the HVAC system. It's the AC and the heater. Okay. So, especially with everything going on with, climate and environment and pricing and logistics and everything else under the sun, literally. I see this all the time. So there's a life expectancy generally for both a heater and for an AC. And it's somewhere in the neighborhood, really, believe it or not, I want to say like 15 to 20 years. That's what they consider the average life expectancy. Now, we all know that they can live longer, right? So oftentimes I will get this call at least once or twice a week from a realtor saying, we don't know what to do. We don't know what to ask for. We want to keep this deal together, but the inspection report says that the furnace or that the AC is nearing its life expectancy, and the buyer's wants to ask for like a $10,000 credit. And oh my gosh, what the heck are we going to do? Because that might kill the deal. Would this be covered? Would this be covered after close of escrow? So I have one question about that. Then I say, does it say nearing its life expectancy and should be inspected by a licensed heating and air person? Yeah. Okay. Well, that was the setup. My question is were there any notes for repair? Because if there's no notes for repair, then they're doing that thing that you said that they do, which is they're just trying to cover their tush. Okay. So they're just like, hey, we just want you to know it's a 35-year-old furnace or AC, or 30 years old or whatever it is. And it's nearing its life expectancy, or it's beyond its life expectancy. So we're going to let you know that, but it's boxes checked, serviceable, or it's working fine. So long as it's working fine, it's not a pre-existing condition. And if it dies on day one, it's eligible for coverage under the contract. Why ask the seller for any credit, and yeah, does that help?
Well, and I think sometimes the answer to your question is they ask for it because it's a backhanded way to negotiate the deal. And also I think the agent doesn't understand what they have. I've had agents who just took the whole report, copied, pasted, said, repair this. And I said, my sellers, retired living out of state, they're not going to repair anything. We can make an adjustment. Well, we brought a contractor in to do everything on the inspection report to make it brand new again. Isn't it cost, $50,000? And say, well, you're not buying a brand new house. That's not what we're selling. We're selling this, we're not selling that. So I think it really gets down to working with your agent, working with professionals who understand and can explain these things.